Hey guys, big welcome to our Utah Jazz 94-95 season replay. We're going back in time trying to change history, the 1994-95 season, with the Utah Jazz. And we are in game number 52 here. We're 26-25 coming into this episode. The Blazers are 29-25, and we're on the road, where we get a big road win in the Rose Quarter, 104-97 over the Blazers in game number 52. We shoot 47%, hold the Blazers to 40% shooting, and our bench outscores them 53-31. Big difference in the basketball game there. Antoine Carr with 20 points led the way off the bench, 7 rebounds, an assist, a steal, and 3 blocks for the big dog. Isaiah Ryder, 31 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals, a block, and 4 turnovers for the Portland Blazers. Up next on the docket for the Utah Jazz here in this season is game number 53, and we're facing the top team in the Eastern Conference, the Atlanta Hawks, who are 33-17. And we are 2 games above 500, trying to get some separation between that 500 mark. We're going to pick this one up in the third quarter. John Crotty pulls up, looking straight down the middle of the fairway, hits the shot. Atlanta leading 82-70 though as we start the fourth quarter. Bookie Blaylock working on John Crotty. Blaylock steps back, tries the other side of the lane, back out to Tony Battle. Over to Christian Laettner, down to Mutombo, blocked away, no, rebounded by John Crotty. Left side to Howard Isley. Isley's going to go down, scoop it up with the left hand off the glass. It's good, 10-point lead for the Hawks. Now an 8-point lead. 9 minutes to go. John Crotty stops, kicks it back to David Benoit from the paint. Shot no, rebounded by Battle, and then pushes it ahead to Steve Smith. Smith finds Dikembe Mutombo running the floor like a deer. Then he throws it down. Hawks jump out to a 97-80 lead with 3:50 to go. Hornacek long 3, back rim, rebounded by Malone. Back to Russell, his 3 no good as well. Rebounded there by Christian Laettner. He'll get it to Mookie Blaylock, pushing it down the right wing to Steve Smith. And back to Mookie Blaylock. Mookie Blaylock hits the shot, 110-90. Hawks with the win here in game number 53. So we fall back to 27-26. 60 points in the paint for Atlanta, 54 for us. Our bench outscored them 43-36. And they killed us on the glass by 15 in the offensive rebound category and by 12. So they out-rebound us by a total of 27. That's where we lose the basketball game. Mookie Blaylock with 23 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists. Karl Malone with 22 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists for the Jazz. Here in game number 53 against the Hawks. Karl Malone leading the way for the Jazz. Let's look at the schedule coming up here for the rest of this episode. Rockets, Suns, and Spurs. Those are the top 3 teams in the Western Conference. We'll play all 3 of them at home and then finish off the episode with a road matchup in Oakland with the Golden State Warriors and point guard Mark Price you see pictured there. Game number 54 between the Rockets and the Jazz from the Delta Center in Salt Lake City. The Rockets are 36-15. They are second in the Western Conference, behind just the San Antonio Spurs. Rockets with an early 5-2 lead. First minute of the game, Stockton yo-yos with the left hand over to the corner to Russell. Russell down on the block to the mailman. Karl Malone whips it over his shoulder to Stockton. Stockton reverse layup up and in. Lead is cut to 1. We're still early in the game. Rockets leading 16-15. 4:08 to go in the first. This is Kenny Smith. Top of the key, Robert Horry holds. David Benoit, college teammate, guards him. And Kenny Smith hits the shot from the angle right. 19-15, Rockets with the lead. Second quarter action, 7:40 to go. Rockets leading by 3. John Crotty guarded by Sam Cassell. Crotty around the screen from Foster. Foster has to cast up a long 3. Well, he doesn't have to, but he makes the bad decision to. Rebounded by Carl Herrera, pushing it into the right corner. Sam Cassell lines it up, knocks it down. 38-32 Rockets with the lead. 10-point lead now for Houston into Jeff Hornacek. Hornacek hands to Ostertag. Ostertag decides it's not a good idea to try to take Hakeem off the dribble. Gets it back to Karl Malone. Karl Malone gets away with the travel. Doesn't matter. Blocked away by the Dream. And here come the Rockets the other way. This is Kenny the Jet Smith. Kenny Smith finds Olajuwon down the lane. Hornacek can't do anything about that. And the Rockets lead by 12. Now the Jazz have cut the lead to 5 with 40 seconds to go in the first half. Clyde Drexler veers right, guarded by Jeff Hornacek. Drexler down the lane, floated up and in over Horny. 54-47. We go to the third quarter. No, we're still in the second quarter. 54-47 still. 25 seconds. Over to Brian Russell. Russell holding on the wing, back to Stockton at the top of the key. Stockton finds Hornacek. Hornacek takes it across the lane, whips it over to the right side. Russell, his three up and in, cuts the lead to 4. Now we get into the third quarter, Jazz trailing by 6. First possession of the third quarter for Utah, Stockton against Kenny the Jet Smith. Behind the back dribble down the lane. Switches to the left hand, misses the layup. It is affected there by Olajuwon. He gets it out to Kenny Smith. Kenny Smith on the right side, down low. Clyde Drexler with 2 hands. Flushes it on the left side. Rockets by 3 now, 8:50 to go. Rockets, the defending world champions, won the world championship in 94 against the New York Knicks. They're trying to repeat here in 95. Clyde Drexler was not going to be denied. Going down the left baseline, reaching back with the right-handed dunk, 73-69. Jazz trailing the Rockets here at the Delta Center. Into Karl Malone. Karl Malone guarded there by Pete Chilcutt. Back to Brian Russell. He'll line up the 3, knocks it down. B. Russ hits the shot. Jazz right back in this game with 7:50 to go. It's a 2-point lead for the Rockets. David Benoit. David Benoit gets it down on the block to Felton Spencer. Felton Spencer guarded by Akeem, back to the big dog looking down the barrel. Big dog hits the shot to tie it up at 87. Here is Ostertag into Stockton. 6:50 to go. We're all tied up at 87. Stockton holding. Kenny the Jet Smith guarding him. Tag sets the screen. Stock goes the other way. Gets down into the paint. Second time that Olajuwon has altered Stockton's layup. And here comes Clyde Drexler gliding through the air with the greatest of ease. 96-96. 2:14 to go in the fourth. Kenny Smith guarded by Stockton. He'll get it over to Robert Horry. Down to Drexler. It's a Clyde Drexler dunk fest. And the Rockets lead by 2. Minute 58 to go. Stockton on the right angle. Over to Hornacek at the top of the key. Hornacek will hold. Stockton comes around to screen. Hornacek finds him over the left angle. 3 is good. It goes around the rim and down. And the Jazz take a 1-point lead. 99-99 now after the Rockets hit a free throw. A minute and a half to go in the game. It's getting into crunch time. Stockton, right side. Hornacek guarded by Drexler. Drexler bodies him up. Hornacek holding on the right angle. Looking down to Karl Malone, he's not there. Finds Stockton back at the top of the key for 3. Stockton knocks it down. 2 threes in a row for Stockton. Now it's 104-103. Jazz by 1 with 34 seconds to go. Stockton over to Hornacek. Hornacek against Clyde Drexler. Drexler really bodying him up. No foul called. Over to Stockton in the corner. Shot clock is down to 7. Stockton around the screen from Malone. Tries to get it underneath to him. Can't. Karl Malone back out to Russell. Over to Stockton. Shot clock down to 1. Stockton has to cast it up and he gets it. John Stockton hits the 3 and that's going to prove to be the game winner. Jazz go on to win 111-103 here in game number 54. Rockets shoot 49%, 5 of 16 from downtown. The Jazz hit 10 threes in 29 attempts. 13 of 15 from the free throw line. Rockets only make 8 trips to the charity stripe. 21 fast break points to 12 for the Rockets. 58 points in the paint to 54. Rockets win that as well. Rockets won a lot of the battles, but we win it on the scoreboard. Karl Malone finished with 43 and 19 with 3 assists, a steal, and 1 turnover. Clyde Drexler, 29 points for the defending champs, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and a turnover for the Rockets. All right, next up we have the Phoenix Suns, I believe. Phoenix Suns, 35 and 20. They are the 3rd place team in the Western Conference right now if the playoffs were to start today. This is the 55th game of the season, so we're in the second half of the year. Here is Kevin Johnson. We're going to pick this one up at the start of the third quarter. Jazz leading by 8. Charles Barkley at the top of the key, guarded by Karl Malone. Barkley holding. Finally gets it over to Wesley Person. Chuck will go set the screen for him. Person crosses over, back out to Chuck from the 3-point line, and Charles Barkley knocks it down. He can hit the 3. 64-58 Jazz. 6.5 minutes to go in the third. Kevin Johnson, as you see in that little graphic there, leading the league in assists, averaging about 12 a game. Stockton is, I think, 4th. Here is Stockton down the lane to Karl Malone, the assist for John Stockton, the all-time assist king. And it is now 70-67. 2:29 to go in the third quarter. John Crotty pulls up in transition, misses the 3. It's rebounded by KJ. Kevin Johnson brings it across the timeline for the Suns, whips it over right side. Chuck stops on a dime, goes glass. Before Tim Duncan patented that glass shot, Chuck used it quite often as well. Here's Howard Isley on the right side. 80-78 Jazz lead. Greg Foster sets the screen. Isley around it, back to Foster from the elbow. Foster's shot rattles home, 82-78, Jazz lead by 4. Nice shot there by Greg Foster. Foster, not the biggest center in the world, but he could shoot the ball from several areas on the court. 84-83. Here's Big Dog. Big Dog working on Hot Rod Williams. Big Dog backs in, shot altered by Williams, rebounded by Hot Rod. He'll quickly get it out to KJ, right side Finley. Finley double teamed for a second, back out to KJ looking down the barrel, and Kevin Johnson hits the 3. The Suns have the lead at 90-86 here with 7 minutes to go in the game. Wesley Person, the brother of the rifleman Chuck Person. Wesley Person, pass taken away by Stockton. Stockton's going to go all the way, lay it up and in with the left hand. John Stockton cuts the lead to 2. Now it's all tied up at 101 with a minute and a half to go in the game. Kevin Johnson against John Stockton. Man, that was a good battle. KJ and Stockton, Stockton and Gary Payton, Stockton, Isaiah Thomas. All very good point guard battles back in the 90s. Early 90s for Isaiah. And Chuck hits the turnaround fall away. We're tied at 103 with 25 seconds to go. The Suns have the ball. 23 seconds. Shot blocked by Tag. Stock has it. Stockton on the middle. Jazz run. Stock down to Russell. Out to the corner. Hornacek. 3. Got it! Jeff Hornacek hits the 3 with 12 seconds. The Jazz go on to win 107-103 in game number 55. Suns shoot an even 50%, 45 of 90. We are 51%. Points in the paint, pretty even. Bench points, we outscore them 29-17. We're finally figuring out our bench. They're not an explosive bench, but there are some areas that we can get some points with these guys. Brian Russell with 14 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists. I think that's the first time we've featured Brian Russell as a player of the game. Kevin Johnson for the Suns, 23 points, 5 rebounds, and right about on his average of 12 assists, the league leader in assists this season. Game number 56, we're hosting the Western Conference leading San Antonio Spurs, and the Spurs drub us pretty good, 119-92. 3 wins in a row against the 3 best teams in the Western Conference was a little bit too tall of an order to ask for. And so we drop the game to the Spurs. Final game of this episode, and then we'll close it out here. We're in game number 57. We hit the road in Oakland at Oakland Coliseum Arena. I think that's what it was called. I can't remember what Oakland's arena was called back in the day. It wasn't Oracle at this time. So we are in Oakland, Golden State, and the Jazz. We'll pick it up in the second quarter. Golden State leading 41-35. Brian Russell on the right wing. He's guarded there by, I don't know who that is. I thought it was Latrell Sprewell, but it's not. Sprewell's guarding Hornacek there, and Hornacek hits the step back. It's 73-70 now as we skip ahead to the third. 3 minutes to go in the third. John Crotty. Over to the right side, Hornacek. Hornacek holding. He's going to try to drive baseline. Scoop it up, around, and in. Jeff Hornacek putting the English on the basketball on the baseline. Totally something Hornacek would have done. 80-74, Jazz have the lead now. B.J. Armstrong for the Warriors. Over to Mullen. Down to Ronnie Cycli. Ronnie Cycli on the block against David Benoit. Not a good matchup for the Jazz. Cycli gets his own rebound, puts it back and in. Jazz lead now 93-88 with 6:19 to go in the fourth. Warriors to inbound. Over the right side, Ronnie Cycli, guarded by Ostertag. Cycli gives it to Latrell Sprewell. He whips a no-look pass underneath to Chris Mullen for the dunk. And now it's a 4-point Jazz lead with 4:40 to go. Stockton back to Hornacek. To Karl Malone. Jazz offense looking a little jumbled there. Stockton's going to go baseline. Stockton reverse it up and in with the right hand. Not a reverse layup, but he reversed from the left hand to the right to get the angle off the glass. Jazz lead by 2. 2:13 to go in the fourth. Stockton, angle left, behind the back dribble. Steps back on Mark Price, whips it down to Karl Malone for the dunk. Stockton to Malone. Nice look from John Stockton. The Jazz go on to win 106-102. 54 points in the paint to 48 in favor of the Warriors. Our bench outscores them by 3, and we out-rebounded them by 7, or 8. We out-rebounded them by 8. Pretty even matchup with the Warriors all in all. 11 turnovers for the Jazz, 14 points off turnovers for the Warriors. Karl Malone with 36 points, 14 rebounds, 2 assists, a block, 2 turnovers. Ronnie Cycli's having a huge year in this simulation here. 30 points, 18 rebounds, 2 assists, still 4 blocks. and a turnover. Ronnie Cycli is an MVP candidate in this world of our Utah Jazz 94-95 season replay. So we finish off this episode. I believe we are 30-27 as we close this one out here on the Moldy Cheese Utah Jazz Historical Basketball Network.